What's up, everybody? It's Soren Baker here on Unique Access, and today joined by Big Les. Thanks for coming through, Les.
What's up? Anything for you, Soren?
Oh, well, I appreciate that, Les. You're too kind. You're too kind. But man, you always have so much going on, Les. So one of the things I know you just booked was the breaks.
Yeah, man.
So what's going on,
Whoop,
Les?
whoop.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
You know, a sister's got to keep the hustle alive, right?
You got to, man. You got to.
Between radio and TV and choreography and dance and stuff. So I get a phone call from a friend of mine who I used to dance for in the group called Aftermath. And he's homeboys with one of the producers for VH1.
Okay.
And of course, the breaks just got brought back, and they're just going to kind of blow things out the water. And they're doing a huge scene with Keith Sweat performing. Little did he know that I used to dance for Keith Sweat back in the day. I'm like, this is right up my alley, a 90s flashback. We're going to do it.
Now, what Keith Sweat era were you dancing for? Was this the I Wanna era? Is this merry-go-round era? Like,
it was all of that. Do I have to name the year? You're killing me.
I'm not saying the year, I'm saying the records.
No, but it was all of that. It was, you know, really, that was my very first tour.
Oh, okay.
And I'll break it down to you. It was 1990. I was, you know, I'm still 20 now, so I was, you know, a baby.
She was about to be 20 back then.
Yeah, and so it really is. It's going to be a stage performance for the song specifically, "Make You Sweat," and you know, we toured all over the country with that song, with that album, and the albums before it. You know, "Make It Last Forever" and all those big records and stuff. And so,
I wanna.
all of that stuff. And what's crazy is that even when I danced for Keith, I was not a fan of his music.
Really?
I was not a fan of his music.
Does he know this?
He does know it.
Okay.
You know,
just making sure.
He does know it, and we actually didn't even mesh back then on the tour,
really?
Which is crazy. We barely didn't even talk to each other, and I think at the time his ego was really big, and he and I have talked about it since then. Like, we were going to do a radio show together. We lived in the same building, and we just like really have become good friends. And I think it was just a matter of a level of respect that he appreciated, that I wasn't in his face like everybody else.
Okay.
So I just took you all the way around that.
Absolutely.
But that's the gig, and that's the reunion that's about to happen with myself and Keith Sweat. So.
Well, congratulations. That's a
big
move.
Thank you very much.
And given your history and your extensive experience, now that you're in general, as not to break specifically, but we're seeing this influx of content with the rap and hip hop history, with the breaks and you know, all these different things that are going on. So with that being said, as someone that's been around and part of it and also documenting it yourself, what have you really liked, and what are some things you would like to see done differently or better with these type of projects in general?
Well, I like that there is now a resurgence and somewhat of a bridging of the gap, or an awakening for the kids of today whose parents probably should have even held their hand a little bit more to really bring them, you know, into the fold. I think what I plan to do in my job now is to really bridge the gap and kind of tell the stories of the behind the scenes, because that's where I live, you know. There's myself as dancer and other dancers and all the stuff that happens behind the video, and all the directors or producers or, you know, storytellers that haven't had their stories told before, that I kind of want to do. I think radio has had a big influence in regards to our culture of hip hop and stuff. And I think for me, I want to do a documentary on the women in radio, because a lot of us have stories to tell about the artists that came to our shows, the drama that happened, the music that didn't play.
Well, I got to give a shout out in that regard to Lady B in Philly, man, because she was the one that really basically got Schoolie D to make his own record, because she was like, I'm not gonna be able to play these gangster rap records, or they didn't call them that, of course, at the time.
Right.
But she's like, Schoolie, man, you're cussing, you're using profanity, you're talking about guns and drugs and weed. He's like, nobody's gonna play this on the radio. And then Schoolie was like, yo, all right, I'm gonna make Schoolie D records, I'm gonna put them out myself. And basically that launched gangster rap.
I love it. I love it.
And Lady B, thank you.
You
Philadelphia.
know? But the one thing, and just with you asking me, that I don't like is that even though with this resurgence, the people who are telling the stories don't seem to be the right people. They're the people who are whatever they read in a book, as opposed to the ones who've walked the walk, who've lived in that era. And those are the ones who should have the voices and should be telling the stories exactly how they happened.
But that being said, so yourself, you have your interest in doing your own documentaries and things. So what are you other than the breaks, what things are you going to be working on, or that you're excited about right now?
Well, again, the dance documentary, which will feature myself, Josie Harris, everybody knows her as the girl with the braids who became a fly girl. That's like my ace, and so many other dancers that you don't know about that you should. Play from Kid and Play is also doing a dance documentary. But it's going to be kind of in a different way. His is really, he's grabbing everyone from Shake to Stretch to, you know, all the people who dance for Mariah, who dance for Nice and Smooth, who, you know, back in the day kind of did their thing. And my story is just going to be a little bit more particular about the girls in the 90s who really kind of had an impact and an influence on how music videos were done and said. I also want to tell the story of Rap City, because there's a lot that y'all don't know about.
Yeah, I'm sure.
That just, you know what I'm saying? And the mic has been passed from, you know, Chris Thomas to Dejour to Joe Claire to myself. And there was a lot of stuff that happened behind the scenes that you guys don't know about. So, and not just, you know, the scandals with the artists but of course the business at hand, dealing with the politics of the people upstairs and, you know, me fighting to get a job and keep a job and change shows and all that other stuff. So I'll be doing that too.
It's a lot of interesting material right there. Now, as far as the dance one thing I wanted to get your insight and your perspective on is, given that you had a prominent role as a dancer, as a choreographer during, you know, what people label one of the golden eras of rap, etc. Now that rap videos have changed so much, and there really isn't like choreographed dancing, it's more like, you know, moves, I guess you would say. It's not really choreographed. What impact do you think that's had, that's kind of gone away from rap?
Well, it's not even just about the dance that's gone away. Videos themselves have pretty much kind of fallen back. There's no channel really to look at it unless you go to like Vivo or YouTube. You know what I'm saying? I think when people see dance or choreography, they get excited. And now it's really only kind of left to the artists who actually dance. So whether it's a Justin Bieber or an Usher, that's really the only time you're going to see it. Conceptually now, I don't think directors are even making it so that it's a big dance extravaganza the way it used to be, you know?
And I think, to your point, or expanding on it, you know, we've also gotten away from it, because back in the day, of course, you know, Big Daddy Kane, Kid and Play, they danced on stage as part of their routine. And even Public Enemy, of course, had a lot of choreography, even though they weren't dancing with the S1Ws. So it was just a different thing. So the videos have fallen back, but touring now is bigger than ever for rap.
It really is.
So that being said, we still aren't seeing these huge, often, other than maybe the super A-list people like Nicki Minaj has dancers and they do things and stuff, but it's not that many super huge artists.
Right.
And even the you know, all the other artists don't really have a lot of choreography. So as someone that's into dance, what do you think we lose as fans not having that as part of the show experience? I
know when I go to a show now, I can probably go, well, I can sit home and watch this in the comforts of my own home with with a brew or with a martini or whatever the case is. But I think what happens is that because the budgets now are smaller and that people aren't really selling any albums, that they're like, everybody's got to go. Dances, we're not paying for it. Wardrobe, we're not paying for it. Hair and makeup, we're not paying for it. Unless you're a female artist, really, when all that stuff matters. But no one's doing a big show anymore. It's going to cost too much, and they need to kind of get all the money that they can get. As a fan sitting in the audience, I'm bored out of my mind. I don't care how much, I like Kanye or Jay or whatever, and yeah, they give it to me the first couple of songs, but I visually need to see something else. And just on a video screen is not going to do it for me.
And I think too, as people that love and care about hip hop as a culture, given that b-boying is one of the foundational points of it, it's one of the key components of hip hop culture. I think we've lost a lot when when the culture evolved, and then rap and MCing became really what drove everything. I think the culture lost a lot.
I think when you're paying X amount of dollars for a ticket, you want to see a show. You want to see some stuff that you're not going to see on your TV, or that you got to wait for the DVD to come out on, or even if like HBO's doing a big special, I still want to see a show. That means I need to be visually aroused at all points, and especially if it's a hip hop show, then you should be giving me a little bit of somebody doing some graffiti in the corner, give me some tricks. There's so many things that can be done now, but I know that they just don't want to pay for it because they're not making money with album sales anymore. So off with our heads as dancers.
Yeah, well, that's an unfortunate evolution, but thank you regardless, Big Les, for coming through here on Unique Access. We appreciate it.
You got it.
Big Les in the building.
What up?